hello, hello, hello. If you are watching this in replay, and there's no video yet, this is just the pre-show, getting things settled here, and I will be right here with the show, Poetic People Fighting Racism, in just about a minute. I will be here. Now, also remember, if for some reason it looks like I'm not fitting your screen, like I'm zoomed in too close, just squeeze it down, pinch it down, and it will come into frame. So that'll be cool. For those of you that are here live, welcome, welcome, welcome. The show will start in just about a minute, maybe a little bit less, and we'll get right into the show. And I'm so happy that you all are here, because you don't have to be here. I know this, and these are tough subjects, tough poems to listen to and to discuss, but this is a safe place filled with love, 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 love. Okay, I'll be with you in just a moment on video, so please stand by. Well, there we go. I've got some audio now. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Poetic People Fighting Racism, Double PFR. Now, I'm your host, Anthony Cordova, Tony C., the man about love. And I'm right here on Fireside. Now, here at Double PFR, we discuss racism and the caste system in the United States of America through poetry, through art, through music, using the voices of our souls, using the strength of our ancestors to heal the fractured country we live in and die in. So, here at Double PFR, all souls are welcome. All people are welcome. Welcome to discuss the racism we live in, so come on in. We'll put our arms around you, providing a safe place for you, a home to protect you. A place where you're surrounded by hope, where you're surrounded by compassion, where you're surrounded by empathy, forgiveness, and love. Surrounded by so much love. And I'd love for you to come in with me, to stand by me, to see what we can do to change this country, to change the people that live in this country. Now, I welcome you to Double PFR with love. So much love I have for you. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to all of you, for real. Now, I would like to welcome each and every one of you individually, but being that Fireside has changed the app a little bit, I need a little help from my producer so I can see everyone that's in the audience. So, Jill, my lovely wife, can you help me out with that?
Absolutely. You have Alicia 281.
Alicia, hi, Alicia 281.
You have Joya.
Joya?
Julia.
Julia.
Yes.
Hi, Julia.
You have Really Charlie.
Hey, Really Charlie, my buddy.
You have Kimberly.
Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly.
You have Nadine.
Nadine? Hi, Nadine. There's so many people.
You have Stephanie.
Stephanie, too. Which Stephanie? Is that a Stephanie we know or a Stephanie we don't know? So welcome, Stephanie.
And you have Carrie.
And Carrie, welcome to you, Stephanie, also. When I say this, I truly mean it. I am totally excited about all of you being here. And all of you in this audience, I consider you to be everyday activists because these are hard discussions we have here. And I would love for all of you to participate. And whether you just want to type in a comment, comments are great. I love comments. Or whether you want to come to the stage and speak, that would be great. Also, I love conversation. Or if you wanted to come to the stage and be on video, you could do that too. So you have a couple of ways to communicate with me and everyone else on this show. Now, also, for all of you in the audience, if you have any type of creative talent, any kind, I would like you to consider coming to this show live and doing whatever it is you do. So if you're a painter, we would love that. And we can discuss how your painting relates to people and the interaction of people. I can usually find a way to connect your art, whether you have done this or not, to how we live in this country, and what we've all been through, especially if you are a person of color. And it doesn't matter what country you come from. If you come from another country, you have realized being a person of color in this country is a little bit different. It's a little bit different, and it can be difficult to navigate this system we have in the United States of America. And by the way, I actually do love this country, even with all its faults and everything else. Now, if this is the first time you're here on the show and you don't know a doggone thing about me, there's a fortune cookie that scrolls across, and you could hit that, and that'll take you to everything I do. But you can also go to my website, which is knowtobestill.com. So that's KNOW number two, letter B, still.com. And you can learn a little bit more about me, and what I do and what type of person I am, because I do a couple of things. So that's what it is. So now I usually do a poem in this show, and the poem is from my manuscript that I've written, Living and Dying, and it discusses all through it racism and the caste system in the United States. And it's not all, well, it's got a lot of stuff in it. So I'll leave it at that. So I usually do a poem with that. Jill, you have something to say?
Yes, before you read the I don't
Oh,
know. Before you read the poem, another person entered your audience.
oh, who is that?
That is Salty Mom.
Salty Mom. Salty Mom. I don't know. We got a little static in when you go on and off, but it's okay. You're trying to fix it. It's Jill is being a tech. She's repairing stuff tonight, which is cool. But Salty Mom sounds like a poet. Salty Mom sounds like a spoken word artist, probably. I hope so. So, Salty Mom, if you are a poet and you would like to read something tonight, that's cool. This is what this show is about. Um, and trying to come together with whoever is here in the audience. So it doesn't matter whether you experience racism or not, you have a spot on this show. Okay. So this isn't like just my show, it's all of our show. So, how do we heal this country unless we learn to speak to each other? We have to learn how to have these conversations without anger. And that is usually the problem, because we don't have these conversations without anger. But here on this show, the conversations will always be without anger. We need to remain calm, and I know how upset we can get, but the goal is to remain calm so we can have these conversations. All right. So, tonight, I think I'm going to get into the poem. And before I start the poem, for those of you that have not heard me read a poem from Living and Dying, uh, I use one phrase quite often. It's all through the book, and that is blue and white eyes. Oh, I'm having technical issues over here. So the blue and white eyes aren't necessarily people that have blue eyes. So the blue portion refers to people of European descent that believe their blood is special. They call it blue blood. They've got blue blood running through their veins that makes them better and supreme than anyone else in the world because they have this European blood in them, which is like kind of insane, right? So that's where the blue part comes. And the white part comes from seeing through white eyes, or a white person's eyes, or a Caucasian person's eye, and mind, actually, in their mind, that sees anyone that's different than them as being less than what they are. So that's why I use the phrase blue and white, excuse me, blue and white eyes. So that phrase is in the poem I'm getting ready to do. Now, the poem that I'm going to do tonight, oh, and by the way, I'm going to do two poems, and I might start doing two poems every show. So one poem will be from the manuscript Living and Dying, and the other poem will just be something I wrote. And it will have nothing to do with racism and the caste system in the United States. Because the topics of this show are so heavy, I don't want you all to start thinking that I'm the angry black man. Because I'm not the angry black man. However, some of the poems I've written on this topic are very serious, and um, even though I wrote them and I know what's in them, they kind of, I feel a lot of pain when I read them. So that's what may be coming across. But no, I am not the angry black man. So I'm going to do this poem, which is called The Living Truth. And then I'm going to do another poem called The Cool Night Air after that. But after I do that poem, I'm going to double back to the first one, which is The Living Truth. And at any time during the show, if you want to ask a question or you want to type in a comment, I'm not sure if that ask button is still there. They keep changing it. But if you see the ask button, that is the easiest way to type a comment or request to come to the stage. And Jill will send you an invitation if you want to come to the stage, and you can choose whether you want to do just audio or video, and that'd be great. But I would love for you to come to the stage because this show is about interacting. Some of you that have been here before know that I can just run my mouth for about 30 minutes straight. Uh, but I really prefer to have the interaction with you in the audience. And before I get started, I want to thank Fireside because Jill and I have several shows on Fireside, and Fireside has never gotten in the way of any of our shows, especially this one because it's such a serious type of show. Um, so they're really supportive of us and actually all content creators on Fireside. So without going any further, I'm going to do The Living Truth with no music. Usually I do music with it, and I'll do that with the second poem. But this one, no music. No music. Just no music. So let's get in right on into it. Again, this is called The Living Truth. When stars and stripes, when blindfolds are removed, they will see so clearly, and they will hate what they see. They will see so clearly and not want to see the truth that they see. It will create consternation in the white lives with blindfolds at their feet. It will create consternation in the blue and white eyes with stars and stripes still covering their eyes, still believing in lies. But they will begin to see and believe. They will begin to cover their eyes, still believing in lies. But they will begin to see the years of lies unfolding before them. They will begin to see the truth and lies they have been living in. The truth and lies we have been dying in. Slowly, so slowly, we will begin to see their minds changing. Their minds changing into new eyes, their eyes changing into new minds. They will finally begin to see who they have always been, who we have always been. They will finally begin to see what we have been living, what they have been doing to black lives in the land of white dreams, in the land of less than for minority lives in this country of lies. They will begin to realize the harm they have done and what their American lives were made from. To live in this country built on lies and on the backs and bones of black lives, they will begin to realize, see, and feel what their parents have done and what their grandparents have done and what their ancestors have done to our enslaved ancestors, enslaved by their ancestors. They will begin to feel chains and shackles weighing them down, and ropes that snapped our necks, and whips that struck our backs, and blood that spattered down and ran down our spines. They will begin to feel, just feel, for us and what we have been through, for what they have put us through, living in this country built on lies. They will begin to realize and begin to feel our people and your people. Seeing us for the first time, they will begin to live with us on this side of red lines, not the other side of red lines, on this side of red lines. New times, changing minds, we'll be living. New times, changing lives, we'll be living. New times, changing minds, we'll be living. We'll be living, remembering the pain we've been through, but we'll be living. Starting a new life, we'll be living a truly free life. We'll be living, holding the pain of 400 years or so of subjugation, but we'll be living, remembering what they put us through. But we'll be living. We'll be living and needing to remember to forgive them, New times, changing minds. We'll be living. We'll be living with their changing minds, seeing through new eyes. We'll be living, needing to see them with new eyes. Needing to see their people that came before them. We'll be needing to forgive them because they were lost souls from the days of old. We'll be needing to forgive them to free the pain of our troubled souls. We'll be needing to see who they are, who they should be, who they are. But it's something we don't see. It's something we don't feel. But they are our brothers and sisters and long lost cousins. They are part of us from before, but we don't see it. We are part of them, but we can't remember the past or the beginning, the time we were one. But we are brothers and sisters and long lost cousins. We are part of each other, separated by time and mountains and land and the vastness of sea. But we'll be living. New times, changing times. We'll be living. New time, changing lives. We'll be living. New times, changing minds. We'll be living. We'll be living. And that is it. That is that poem. The living truth, the living truth. And I'm going to go into detail with that. Before I do this other poem, The Cool Night Air, is there any comments or questions or anything anyone wishes to say? And is that a no, Jill?
Well, I was getting ready to say something, but we're still having static on my end.
Okay.
I was just going to tell you that John joined the audience.
John, welcome, John. And that was the first poem I did tonight. And if you heard it, you kind of know what it's about. But I'm going to go back to that one and discuss it. But I figured I'd do something light that is not, well, it's, you decide what it is. But I will not go through this one. You interpret this one any way you wish. Any way you wish. And I hope you like it. It's called The Cool Night Air by me, Anthony Cordova, Tony C, the man about love. So let's cue up some music for this one and we will get right to it. And it's a short one, so it won't be 3 minutes. I think this one is 1 minute and 40 seconds, something like that. So it's really quick. It's short. It's only 3 stanzas, 3 small stanzas. Okay, music. Cue the music. In the cool night air, I leave my life behind me. See my life before me, where I yearn to be true me. I am where my life runs free, with stars above me. Seeing past lives run free, see my life, my history. I come here to find you, a life that is past in the cool night air. beyond craters and stars, past life and death, before birth and the pain of earth. I follow translucent colors leading me to you. I feel past you, present you, eternal you. This is you before life and after death. We loved and lived and died and live true life in us. Created again, never destroyed, always a soul. Again, we are one. 3 and 4, once more, like before and again. Endless life and love, before and again. In the cool night air, in the cool night air, in the cool night air. Okay, how you like that? That's completely different. Yes, Jill.
Charlie wrote, nice flow.
Nice flow. Thank you, Charlie. He's the guy. I just love Charlie, as I love the rest of you that are in the audience. Okay, any comments before I go? Just run over the first poem, which was The Living Truth. And again, I would love comments and anything that I go through, and I'm going to try to go through this one really quick because I really want to be respectful of your time because this is hard stuff. Hard stuff. So any questions or anything before I get started? Jill, is none? Okay, cool. All right, well, that'll work. Okay. I start this poem with, when stars and stripes, when blindfolds are removed, they will see so clearly and they will hate what they see. So what I'm talking about is people in this country, in the United States of America, especially if you're not of color. This country presents an image, and I say image, of having open arms to everyone. You know, this country paints an image of we are the kindest and most hospitable than any country in the world. Okay. And some of that is true. But the way this country was built, when you take a country that gained all their wealth by enslaving another group of people, and this 400 years, okay? So they built the country on subjugating people to gain wealth. They built this country by taking land away from the indigenous people that were here. They just steal it. It's just like our land now. So this is how this country was built. And to be able to sleep at night, and people in general do this. It's just human behavior. Whenever they do something that is horrible, they try to justify it by many ways. Nowadays, they're beginning to say that enslaved people in this country were lucky because we learned skills. So we were lucky. So we need to be thankful that we were slaves because we learned skills that we did not have before. So when I'm talking about stars and stripes, I'm talking about the American flag and our beliefs in this country. But our American flag, our values in this country blind us. So that's why I say when stars and stripes, when blindfolds are removed, they will see so clearly. Now, how do we remove blindfolds? How do we remove this image of just this country and everybody in it is perfect? And the way this country was founded was perfect. Like there was no slavery, there were no enslaved people. Like my ancestors were not enslaved. And when we talk about this isn't long ago when you really look at it. 1865. In the big picture, that's not that long ago. when you look at time and how long this planet has been here, that's not really that long ago, and we still feel the effects of it. So I'm talking about here when we really do begin to talk about the true history of this country. And when people truly begin to see the effects of enslaving a group of people, removing them from one country, bringing them to another country, and making them slaves for life. For life. Imagine if that happened today. Really. Think about it. So, as we discuss these things, and there are many really good people in this country that do begin to realize, oh my gosh, this country was founded on some bad stuff, and people gained wealth in this country because of that bad stuff. If you ever owned a business, or if you own a business, labor, your employees are usually the very highest cost for you to do business. So imagine if you don't have to pay your employees. Yes, Jill.
Really, Charlie has a comment.
Okay.
He says, yeah, they say the reasoning for it all is to make everything better, but it's through their white eyes and blue blood. But now they want everything restored from indigenous people.
From, I didn't
That's
understand.
that's what he said.
Okay.
Do you
All
want him
right.
to talk?
Well, I think he meant to everything returned to indigenous people. Probably. That was okay. Cool. I agree. I definitely agree. And for those of you who don't know, Charlie is quite a bit of an historian, so he really knows his stuff, especially from where he lives. He lives in Massachusetts, so he knows a lot of Massachusetts history, which is cool. It's really cool. So, so I'm going back to the poem real quick. I go into they will see so clearly, and some people in this country are beginning to see the truth, um, and will try to do something about it, which is most important. Now, when I said you all were everyday activists, and I consider everybody that comes to this show somewhat of an everyday activist because you don't have to be here. Now, you might think, oh, well, I'm just going to a show. That's not being an everyday activist. Yeah, I kind of believe it is because you may discuss this show with someone, or it may give you thought on some of the things I talk about. And maybe you'll begin to look at things a little differently, and maybe you'll have more discussions about this country. And if you're a person of color, uh, how it is to live here and the things we have to go through. And when I say a person of color, I mean a person of color. You could be Asian, you could be Korean, you could be anybody that has some color in them, period. So, other than being Caucasian, you are a person of color in this country, and they will treat you different. You will be treated differently. Okay. So let me see. I go and they will begin to see it will create consternation in white lives with blindfolds at their feet. So I'm talking about uh, Caucasian people that begin to see the truth. So it will kind of confuse them that, oh my God, this is what we have been living in. Um, and it will cause them to discuss it with each other and hopefully others than just themselves. And it will also create consternation in the blue and white eyes with stars and stripes still covering their eyes. Now, we actually see this today. And the consternation is the people that believe they are superior to everyone else. They say, we got to stop this. People are beginning to see the truth. We got to stop this. And this is where your book bannings come bandings. I'm tired tonight. That's my excuse. Banning. There we go. Come in. This is when we get into what can be taught in school. This can get back to um, history. This is the second time I'm bringing up history. So, if in a public school they're teaching a history that is false, now we made many gains in the civil rights movement, but however, now they're saying it's time to take those back. They don't want us to make the gains. So, the gains we make, they're taking them away. And how do they do that? Well, how can they do that? It's power. It's government power. The people that are in the government hold the power. And if they are of a certain party, they get away with a lot of stuff. A lot of the governors in this country are getting away with a lot of stuff. And we have people that are been president for a short time and are running for president again, just spreading hatred all over the place. And it's dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. We need to remember history. We need to remember world history on what happens when one race feels they're superior to just about everyone else. It doesn't end up good. Bad stuff. Bad, real bad stuff. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about blindfolds and stars and stripes and not seeing stuff the same way anymore, or trying to take back what they consider to be power. Now let's try, yeah. And I go to, and this all of this is really wishful thinking on my part. I really hope it happens, but I say slowly, so slowly, they will begin to see their minds changing. And that's true. Some people will change their minds, but then other people will go totally the other direction. Oh, we got to keep them in their place. You know, it's funny. Caucasian people never have heard in this country somebody say, we got to put you in your place. We have to keep you in their place. But that's what they say about anybody of color in this country. Keep us in place. We need to know our place. We need to stay in our neighborhoods. All that kind of stuff. We need to know how to talk to a police officer. We need to know what to say and what not to say. We need to know our boundaries. Why? Because we're not totally free. Not totally. We're free-ish. We're kind of free-ish. We can do some things, but we can't do all things. Okay? If we stay in our area, maybe we can do what we want. But if we venture out and try to do the things that every other American or every Caucasian American can do in this country, we get hit with stuff. We get people trying to stop us, to keep us from succeeding for no other reason than the color of our skin. No other reason. That's it. Plain and simple. That's it. Okay, let's move on. And remember, y'all, you can comment, say anything. If you think I'm saying something that's crazy, tell me. That's crazy. And let's discuss it. And I will not get angry. I'm good. I want these discussions because I have love for my fellow human beings. So I'm not going to try to destroy any fellow human being. And especially if they're on this show, if they're here in the audience. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to try to go through this quickly. So I go into they will begin to realize the harm that has been done and what American lives were made from. Now, in order for that to happen, we we have a responsibility to talk about these things, to talk about the injustices in this country. So, no matter how much they try to silence us, no matter how much they try to change history, to rewrite history, which they've been doing forever anyway, um, doesn't matter. Does doesn't matter. I don't know. I, I don't know. This is like I'm just getting frustrated. So we really do need to speak up. Now, you may not march, you may not march in the street or anything else, but we need to speak up. We need to go to PTA meetings when stuff isn't right in the school. We need to speak up about book banning. We have a voice. Now, they may not want to listen, but we need to be that squeaky wheel, the one that's always in their ear, and be annoying. They won't want to listen, but they will be hearing it. They will be hearing it. Let's see. I go into, let me see, this country built on lies that we know and the backs and bones of Black lives. Kind of discussed that earlier. We know what that is. But down here, they will begin to realize. So we need to talk so much that they begin to realize and feel what their parents and their grandparents and their ancestors have done to a race of people, a group of people that they enslaved. And now they want to act like it didn't happen. Well, we were happy slaves. Oh yeah, we just happy slaves. Yeah, that's what we. Oh, thank you, master, for doing this for me. Yeah, we're just happy slaves. Yeah. When I was in elementary school, they told us that all the time, all the time. Even the presidents that hold slaves, they say, "Oh yeah, the president's slaves. They were really happy." Nobody in their right mind is going to be happy being a slave. It ain't going to happen. So, but again, these are the lies we're told while we're growing up. We're told in our school. We're told by other people. We're told we're less than. We're told we're not smart as. We're told we're thieves and drug addicts. This is the narrative for us that they assign to us. It's messed up. It's messed up. This is why we have to speak up. We have to. Again, it's our responsibility. Here, I say they will begin to feel the chains and shackles weighing them down. Now, that line is talking about guilt. We have to keep talking about this so maybe some people that have a conscience will begin to feel the guilt. Maybe they will begin to feel the ropes that snapped our necks by lynching, and the whips that struck our backs, and the blood that spattered down and ran down our spines during slavery and after. And after. We're still feeling that pain. We're afraid something's bad is going to happen to us if we get pulled over in our car. So it's changed. But we, people of color, still have that fear. And it's just not black people. If you are from another country, if you are from Mexico, you may be here illegally. Okay? But ask yourself, why is someone here illegally? They're trying to save their families. You know, have some compassion, have some empathy. If this country really has their arms open, help them. But if all Mexicans did not have dark skin and they were Caucasian, I bet they would be helped. They would be helped. So, talking about this, frankly, is something we kind of need to do. Because if we're quiet, just trying to get by, just trying to live our own lives, they'll never feel that they've done anything wrong. And they might say, well, I didn't do it. I wasn't even alive then. When you talk about one race of people enslaving another race of people, and that's how a country was built. This is actually biblical. Okay? You can read the Bible and learn about this. So, as a group of people enslaving another group of people, it's not good. In the Bible, people get punished for being of a race of people, a certain type of people, a certain race of people get punished because of what they have done to another group of people. And this is still happening today. So we're not slaves anymore in this country, but we're still subjugated. Yes, Jill.
Charlie wrote, "The Pope from way back said you can have slaves."
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And I'm not hmm, I'm not going to touch on that this episode.
He said crazy, huh?
Yeah, it is crazy. But yeah, if we get on that, this show is going to end up being 5 hours tonight. So I'm not gonna do that. But thank you for pointing that out, Charlie. I do appreciate that. Um, so yeah, I see I'm beginning to get short on time. So I'm gonna jump down towards the end of this poem so we can get this done. So let me see. I got here. I'll start from here. Excuse me. But they are our brothers and sisters and long lost cousins. Now, what I mean from that is that we all, and it doesn't matter what you believe, doesn't matter whether you believe we were created in a big bang, doesn't matter whether you believe we evolved from apes. It doesn't matter whether you believe that God created us or the Holy Spirit created us. It doesn't matter which of those you believe. Okay? What matters is we all were created the same. We all came from the same place. We all were created. We all were created as human beings with a head, two arms, a torso, legs. We're all created the same. And in the beginning, we all look the same. Okay? We all look the same. We come from the same place, the same creator. We do. So if you go way, 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 way back, we're all connected. We're all the same. As we spread out and we all are different countries, different continents, and all of that, the environment helped make us look different. The pool of people that we um, multiplied with also made us look different. So, all of these things, but we came from one source in the beginning. So, we are all the same, other than our skin color. Okay? So, to believe that one group of people is better than another group of people strictly because of the color of their skin is flawed thinking. It's flawed thinking. You shouldn't hate your brother. You might not like your brother, but you shouldn't have hatred for your brother or your sister or your cousin. Okay? So For one race to think they're so much more superior than another, for me, it's insanity. It really is. It's insanity. So we need to stop that. We need to stop that and learn to love each other, or have some love for each other. It's not that difficult. It's not. We need to learn to talk to each other. And when we don't agree, we don't need to kill the person because they don't agree with us. We don't need to harm them because they don't agree with us. But we have to have some calm, rational discussions. But it's a difficult thing to do because people are difficult and people are petty. And a lot of people are just filled with pain and anger and hatred. And I don't want to live like that. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this show. That's why I also only do it every other week because it is difficult. So anyway, this is my part to do what I can, and maybe one person can make a difference. Maybe they can't, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't try. So, and that's what this show is about. So I am going to start wrapping this up. And first of all, I want to thank everybody that's in the audience. For real. I am not joking when I say I really do love you all. I really do. And I'm happy and excited every time people come to this show. And I'm happy when you listen to the replay of this show. It's amazing to me. So let me remind you to be an everyday activist. Also, be love, show love. And one more thing, I want you to do something different. This week, next week, do something different. Talk to somebody you normally wouldn't talk to. Do something different. Smile at people. If you're always walking around angry and pissed off because you think somebody's going to do something to you, just smile at somebody one day. See what happens. That'll be interesting. Take a different route to work. Just do something different. Do something different. Get up a little earlier one day. Get up a little later one day. I don't know, but something different. It can help change you, and it can help change the world, believe it or not. So yeah, that can do that. So right now, what's playing? The music is Coral by 29 Beats is playing, and that is the intro and the outro music. And shoot, I didn't write down who the artist was with the other poem, but maybe I did. Yes, the other song was Playing Together by Eyes on Music. Eyes on Music, yes. So yeah, they're cool. So remember, next show is on what is the next show? September 9th, I believe it is. No, that's not the next show? Yes, it is. No, September 2nd is the next show. That's it. I had to look up at the calendar and Jill to get that information. All right, I got 15 seconds. The music's going to end and I'm out. So I'm going to